In 2025, storefronts once buzzing with local charm now sit dimly lit, half-stocked, or shuttered entirely. The vibrant hum of independent shops has given way to silence, interrupted only by for-lease signs and rising prices that don't match the value inside. What's happening isn't just a tough season, it's a turning point. Many small businesses, caught between relentless inflation, soaring rents, and shifting customer expectations, are collapsing under pressure.
Don't get fooled by the label. Subscribe now to uncover what's really behind your favorite brands, and get the truth Big Food doesn't want you to see.
But the deeper damage is emotional. Disillusioned customers walk out, not just because prices are high, but because the trust is gone. When something claims to be handmade but reeks of mass production, when shelves feel curated for profit rather than people, shoppers notice, and they don't come back. This erosion of authenticity, consistency, and service has created a crisis that economics alone can't explain. Today's consumers are sharp, cautious, and stretched thin. They know how to compare prices and spot gimmicks. And in neighborhoods across the country, they're making a quiet decision to stop supporting businesses that don't feel real anymore. The survival of small shops no longer hinges just on location or luck, but on whether they can reconnect with what made them matter in the first place. Truthful stories, excellent service, and meaningful value. Without a return to those fundamentals, the empty aisles and rising prices won't be temporary. They'll be the new normal. Walk down any main street in 2025, and you'll see the signs, literally, closed. For lease. Everything must go. Once bustling storefronts now sit hollow, with dusty shelves, handwritten signs, and desperate markdowns that aren't fooling anyone. The heart of small-town commerce is fading fast. This isn't a slump. It's not a rough patch. It's a collapse. Small businesses across the country are folding under pressure, not just from one problem, but from a perfect storm of challenges they were never equipped to face. And the wreckage is everywhere. It starts with the prices. Inflation has torn through every aspect of business. Rent is up. Utilities are up. Supplies? Sky high. Taxes? Still climbing. For many owners, just unlocking the door costs more than it ever has. So they raise their prices to keep up. But when they do, their customers walk out. Because let's be clear, consumers in 2025 are stretched thin too. They're not buying candles or curated gift boxes when groceries and gas cost more than they can handle. Discretionary spending is disappearing, and so are the sales. But inflation is only part of the story. The deeper problem? Trust is gone. Too many small businesses lost sight of what made them special. Somewhere along the line, the charm turned into gimmick. The authenticity turned into a sales pitch. And consumers noticed. Shoppers who used to feel good about supporting local stores now double-check everything. They scan barcodes. They compare prices online in real time. And more often than not, they walk away because the markup is just too much and the product isn't what it claims to be. People don't want faux handmade products stamped artisan, but drop shipped from warehouses. They're tired of stores calling things local that clearly aren't. That kind of misrepresentation doesn't just hurt a sale. It destroys credibility. And once trust is gone, good luck getting it back. The irony? Consumers actually want to support small businesses. They want connection. They want craftsmanship. They want stories. But they're not going to support dishonesty wrapped in rustic signage. And then there's the experience or lack of one. Many small businesses have failed to keep up with what customers expect. Staff that's uninterested. Stores that feel disorganized. Service that feels like a favor instead of a standard. Inconsistent hours that make planning impossible. Some stores are open from noon to 3 p.m. 3 days a week and wonder why no one shows up. Customers have no patience for that anymore. Convenience rules. If your stores close when people are free to shop, they won't come back. If they're treated like an afterthought, they'll go somewhere that actually values them. The expectations have shifted, and not in the business owner's favor. Meanwhile, big retail chains and online giants have made everything faster, cheaper, and easier. You can order anything you want at 10 p.m. from your couch, and it shows up tomorrow. So if a local shop doesn't offer something unique, if it's selling the same mugs, oils, or jewelry you've seen 100 times, what's the point? And here's the harsh truth. Too many small businesses have become indistinguishable, homogenized, repetitive, copy-paste versions of each other. Consumers walk in, look around, and feel like they've seen it all before. That kills loyalty. That kills excitement. That kills business. Now combine that with the economic stress crushing consumers. Wages haven't kept up. Rent eats up half their paycheck. They're budgeting everything. So when they do spend, they expect real value. They want transparency. They want a reason to choose you over a nameless web page. And if they don't get it, they're gone. This collapse isn't just about economics. It's about identity. Small businesses used to thrive on community, personality, and consistency. But in 2025, too many have lost all three. They've drifted into a space where nothing feels dependable or distinct. A lot of that is burnout. Running a business now is brutal. Costs go up, margins shrink, and survival feels like a daily battle. But from the outside, consumers only see disorganization, unpredictability, and rising prices, and they respond with their wallets. Even the store hours tell a story. When a customer shows up on a Saturday and sees a handwritten "back at 2:45" sign taped to the door, that store might as well be closed forever. Because in a world of instant access and 24/7 convenience, patience has run out. So what's left? Empty streets, boarded up shops, boutique windows layered in dust and for rent signs, and a lingering sense of disappointment. Because the collapse of small businesses isn't just economic, it's emotional. These places were supposed to be the soul of the community. They were supposed to be where you want to feel seen, heard, appreciated. Now they're reminders of what's been lost. But it didn't have to end this way. Because buried in the wreckage is a blueprint for survival. It starts with honesty, with real value, not pretend local, not repackaged imports, real products with real stories, offered at prices that reflect value, without insulting intelligence. Consumers can spot a lie instantly in 2025. They have the tools, the awareness, and the skepticism. So stop trying to fake it. Service matters. More than ever. Every conversation, every transaction, it's either building trust or breaking it. If a customer feels ignored, they're not coming back. But if they feel respected, remembered, and understood, that's where loyalty starts. Consistency matters too. Open when you say you're open. Deliver what you promise. Be where your customers need you, not when it's most convenient for you. Professionalism isn't optional. It's the bare minimum. And finally, stand out. Don't be another white-walled, neutral-toned, over-curated Instagram storefront with nothing to say. Be bold. Be different. Be yourself. Give people something they can't get from Amazon or Target. A reason to walk in and a memory when they walk out. Because this isn't just about staying open. It's about staying relevant. About proving that small businesses can still offer something no algorithm ever could. A human experience grounded in trust, value, and connection. That's what it takes now. Not nostalgia. Not pity. Not guilt-based marketing. Excellence. The economic pressures aren't going away. Consumers aren't going to suddenly forget price comparison tools. But if small businesses can find their voice again, if they can rediscover their core and service sincerity, there's still way forward. Without that transformation, the trend will continue. More shops will shutter. More neighborhoods will lose their spark. And the space that once held community will be filled by silence. If you've seen this happen in your city, hit like. If you've left a small business because you felt misled or overpriced, tell us in the comments. Or if you found a business that gets it, that delivers real value, real service, and real authenticity, give them a shout out. They deserve it. And make sure to subscribe. Because this isn't just a story about shops. It's a story about where we're headed next. Let's keep going, because we're not done peeling back the layers of this collapse. The truth is, we're witnessing something far deeper than just empty storefronts and shutter boutiques. What's happening in 2025 is the quiet erosion of local economies. The slow death of neighborhoods that once thrived because of small businesses, not just as places to shop, but as social anchors, gathering points, and symbols of independence. When those spaces vanish, the community loses more than goods and services. It loses vibrancy. It loses connection. It loses trust. And for many consumers, That trust has already been broken. Let's talk about what's replaced it. Oversaturation, repetition. You walk into a small shop these days, and you see the same generic displays. Soy candles, branded tumblers, wooden signs with the same 3 fonts and slogans. The same locally sourced sticker slapped on a product that clearly isn't. You don't feel inspired. You feel tricked. Or worse, bored. And that boredom is dangerous. Because the minute a customer starts to feel that what they're being offered is no different from anywhere else, they'll default to what's easier, faster, and cheaper. That means Amazon. That means Walmart. That means chains that have mastered consistency, even if they've gutted character. There's no room for mediocrity anymore. Not in this economy. And small business owners know this. They feel it every day. The pressure is unrelenting. Margins are thin. Inventory is unpredictable. Staff turnover is high. Rent doesn't budge. And still, customers expect lower prices, better service, and more personalization. It's not just difficult. It's unsustainable. But here's where it gets worse. Even the businesses that try to do everything right are struggling. The ones that are honest, that do care, that show up early, stay late, and pour everything into quality and service. They're still losing ground because consumers are overwhelmed, overburdened, and cutting costs wherever they can. That's what makes this collapse so tragic. It's not just about bad business decisions. It's not just about dishonesty. It's about a system that's choking out even the best players. You can see it in the data, but you can also feel it in the atmosphere. The street that used to buzz with foot traffic is quiet now. The cafe where locals lingered over coffee is half empty, barely breaking even. The bookstore that hosted readings and made you feel something real now struggles to pay the light bill. And still, people ask, why is this happening? Well, it's not one thing. It's everything. Inflation makes everything cost more. Wages haven't kept up. Consumers are more informed and more skeptical than ever. Trust has been eroded by years of exaggerated branding and fake local pride. And on top of that, many small businesses have failed to meet the moment. They didn't adapt. They didn't sharpen their edge. They didn't evolve. Some owners will say, "We've been here 20 years." But that's not enough anymore. Legacy doesn't equal relevance. Nostalgia doesn't pay the bills. What matters now is clarity, quality, consistency, and connection. Let's not forget how important timing is. In 2025, when consumers plan their days to the hour, balancing remote work, childcare, side gigs, and stress, they're not going to wait around for your shop to open at 11:30 a.m. If your store hours are built for your lifestyle instead of your customers, don't be surprised when no one shows up. That's not unfair. That's reality. And when small businesses complain that nobody supports them anymore, they need to ask, are they truly supporting their customers? Because support is a two-way street. Are they respecting people's time? Are they delivering what they promise? Are they offering something unique? Something meaningful? Something worth coming back for? If not, then the decline will continue. Let's also talk about the fake narratives. The handmade claims that don't hold up. The locally sourced labels that are slapped on mass-produced goods from across the globe. Consumers have caught on. They know what's real and what's branding. They know the difference between true craftsmanship and a marketing gimmick. And once they've been misled, they don't just leave. They tell others. One bad experience doesn't stay isolated anymore. It spreads, online, in reviews and conversation. The bar is higher now. And that's not a bad thing. Because the ones who do deliver, who tell honest stories, who treat customers like people, who go beyond the transaction, they're still here. Barely, maybe, but they're still fighting. Those are the businesses worth saving. And they deserve more than just a pat on the back. They deserve serious reflection from everyone who wants to see Main Street survive. So here's what needs to change. Small businesses must stop trying to imitate what they think sells and start getting real about what they do best. They need to lean into originality, to sharpen their identity, to drop the generic vibes and offer something people can't get at Target. That could be a product, a philosophy, a way of doing business. It doesn't matter what form it takes, as long as it's real. They also need to get serious about their operations. Clean stores, fair pricing, consistent hours, employees who want to be there, customer service that feels like someone's actually listening. No more half efforts. No more excuses. Because here's the deal. People want to support local. They really do. But in 2025, support has conditions, and rightfully so. Consumers are overworked, overwhelmed, economically strained. If they're choosing to spend money with you instead of saving it or spending it elsewhere, that decision has weight. And if you waste that opportunity with overpriced goods, lazy service, or unreliable hours, you lose them forever. It's that simple. The collapse we're seeing now didn't happen overnight. It's been years in the making, but the acceleration is undeniable. Every month, more shops close. More leases go vacant. More towns look emptier. And more people resign themselves to shopping online, not out of preference, but out of necessity. And if small businesses don't really evolve, then they will disappear. Slowly, quietly, completely. This isn't a call for pity. It's a call for excellence. For small businesses to rise to the level consumers need them to be at. To offer value, not vibes. To earn loyalty, not just ask for it. That's the way forward. That's how this collapse stops becoming a final chapter and starts becoming a turning point. Because there is still time. There are still customers who care. There are still communities that want to see their local shops thrive. But no one's going to wait forever. We've come this far, and the message is undeniable. The collapse of small businesses in 2025 isn't a surprise. It's been a slow-motion breakdown that too many people saw coming and too few tried to stop. Now, we're left staring at the wreckage, wondering who's next. Let's not sugarcoat the final act here. A massive number of small businesses simply won't make it to 2026. The debt is too high. The margins are too low. The trust is too far gone. The competition, from mega retailers and tech platforms, is too efficient, too cheap, too convenient. And let's be brutally clear. Consumers are tired of being asked to pay more for less. They're tired of the fake local stories. They're tired of inconsistent hours, high markups, and poor service dressed up as independent charm. They're not here for sympathy. They're here for value. And if small businesses can't deliver it, they're not sticking around. That's what makes this moment so critical. Because if you're a small business owner right now, this is your last wake-up call. No more coasting on nostalgia. No more leaning on your zip code like it's a brand. No more plan to support local card without backing it up with real quality, real service, and real consistency. Because here's the truth. Support local has lost its weight. It doesn't mean what it used to. Consumers still care about their communities, but they care more about their budgets. And they have every reason to. Prices are up across the board. Groceries, gas, rent, utilities, it's all higher than ever. People are making hard choices every single day. And when they walk into your store and see a product that's double the price they saw online, they're not going to give you a standing ovation for being a local shop. They're going to walk out, not because they don't care, but because they can't afford to care the way they used to. And we haven't even touched on the customer experience. How many small businesses are losing customers simply because of the way they treat people? Disinterest behind the counter. No greeting when someone walks in. Employees scrolling their phones. Shops that feel like you're interrupting their day just by being there. That's not quirky. That's unprofessional. In 2025, consumers are demanding more than just a product. They want to feel seen, respected, valued. If the energy in your store doesn't reflect that, you're part of the problem. And let's be honest, the operating hours alone are killing the relationship between customers and small businesses. You can't be closed on Mondays and Tuesdays, open only until 3 p.m. on Thursdays, and wonder why foot traffic is dying. You can't be on a break during lunch hour and expect people to plan their day around your convenience. That's not how business works anymore. Today's consumer can get whatever they want, whenever they want it, with a few taps on their phone. If you want to compete with that, you need to show up, literally, on time, consistently, with professionalism. Because small businesses aren't just fighting for relevance. They're fighting for survival in a marketplace that no longer tolerates excuses. And let's talk about product differentiation, or the total lack of it. The truth is, most small stores in 2025 are starting to feel the same. They look the same. They sell the same things. You walk into one shop, and it feels like the last 5 you visited. The same color palette. The same curated wall of throw pillows. The same overpriced, mass-produced, handmade items you know came from an overseas factory. There's no uniqueness anymore, and that's a death sentence. Because if your store isn't giving people a reason to return, something they can't get online, something they can't find at every other shop in town, then they won't return. They'll go home, log on, and buy it for half the price. But here's the other side. The ones that do stand out, the ones that do provide genuine value, transparency, and a great customer experience, they're not just surviving. They're building loyalty in a way Amazon never can. These businesses know who they are. They don't fake their story. They don't inflate their prices for the sake of aesthetic. They don't treat customers like an interruption. They don't vanish on random weekdays. They show up. They deliver. And their customers notice. They may not be getting rich, but they're earning trust. And in 2025, that's the only currency that matters. So if you're a small business owner wondering what the next move is, look in the mirror. Ask yourself the hard questions. Are you really offering something people can't get anywhere else? Are you showing up for your customers, not just when it's convenient for you, but when they need you? Are your prices justified by your quality? Are your stories real, or just marketing? Because this collapse is avoidable, but only for the ones willing to confront what got us here. And let's not forget, this isn't just about business. This is about community. Every time a small business closes, a neighborhood loses a piece of its identity, a space that brought people together, a place where someone got their first job, or met a friend, or felt a sense of belonging. You don't get that from a warehouse or a shopping app, but that emotional weight only matters if the business lives up to it. We can't keep romanticizing the idea of small business while ignoring the reality. That era is over. Sentiment won't save you. Only substance will. So if you're doing it right, keep going. You're rare and you're needed. But if you've been hiding behind a facade of support local without delivering the goods, the service, or the experience, you're running out of time. Because consumers are paying attention. Their budgets are tight. Their expectations are high. And their loyalty is earned, not given. If this all resonates with you, hit that like button. If you've watched your neighborhood change, if your favorite shop closed, or if you found one that still gets it right, drop it in the comments. Let's talk about what's really working and what needs to change. Subscribe for more raw, honest breakdowns like this. Because the stakes couldn't be higher, and the time for sugarcoating is over.